Throughout history, music has been expressed and encapsulated in multiple different ways. Easily one of the cringiest ways of encapsulating and expressing this beautiful art is the music video. Even acknowledging that most music videos are absolutely cringy, there are a certain select few that rise above the rest and hit the true piquancy of cringe, especially to those with very refined palates. Today we are doing the cringiest music videos tier list. Here's our contenders. Some of these may look familiar to you, understandably so. Some of these you may have never seen before. I will admit, in doing my research and due diligence to make sure that I found only the height of cringe, I had not seen a number of these music videos before, but we are going to lay them to their final resting place today. We'll start with something that might be slightly familiar. Christopher Lee, The Blood Verdict of Verdun. For those who don't know, Christopher Lee is a very renowned actor. One of his prominent roles was being Saruman the White in Lord of the Rings. He was also Dracula in one of those movies, either in the 80s or the 70s. But even being a renowned actor, he had a passion for singing. And this song and this music video are one of the weirdest oddities to ever grace the internet. Just obviously the world's most fantastic green screen job, awkward, lifeless movements from everyone involved, Christopher Lee and some random dude who can't sing very well holding swords and moving them around like a bunch of douches. And then there's just this.
I shed blood of Saxon man. I shed the blood of the Saxon man. I shed the blood of the Saxon man. I shed the blood of the Saxon man. I shed it at Verdun. I shed the blood of the Saxon man. I shed the blood of 4,000 Saxon men.
If you can't get down with Christopher Lee just repeating the phrase, I shed the blood of 4,000 Saxon men, over and over and over until the end of time, I legitimately don't think you're human. There is a ton of cringe in this video, but this ranking system is not most cringe to least cringe. This is watchability to god-awfully unwatchable. All of these videos have varying levels of cringe, but whether or not I need to see this video again, or whether or not I just can't handle watching it or just really don't want to watch it again, that will determine where I put it on this list. I regularly come back and grace myself with Christopher Lee, and there is mega cringe in this video, so I'm putting him in A tier. Next up, a very well-known one, Friday by Rebecca Black. Everyone knows this video, everyone cringes hard, but I had to sit down and do some analysis of it and think to myself, was it cringy because the song is just awful, like some of the worst lyric writing known to mankind? Or was it awful because the music video was bad? Being 100% honest, given what the song is and the lyrics that are happening, I would say the music video is actually pretty spot on.
7 a.m. waking up in the morning, ticking on and on, everybody's rushing. Gotta get down to the bus stop, gotta catch my bus, I see my friends.
And there's even moments where the kid sitting next to her in the back seat, you can see him cracking a smile, trying not to laugh at how ridiculous this is. So from a watchability standpoint, would I want to watch this again? Not really, and it is pretty painful to experience because regardless of whether or not the music video was as well produced as it could be, the song itself is an integral part of that music video. And because it is so outstandingly cringe, I'm going to have to move it down to D tier. If there were actually elements of the video itself that made it more cringe, instead of the cringeworthiness relying upon the music and the lyrics, it would have definitely been lower. Or who knows, if they made a music video that was just mega cringe, but in the best way, could have gone up in ranking. Next one is a song I am sure 90% of you do not know what it is. This is a song called Break It Up by Carl Lewis. Who is Carl Lewis, you may ask? Carl Lewis was a gold medal Olympian for track and field. I think he was gold medal. He won a bunch of Olympic events. He was a sprinter and a long jumper. I think he still holds a record, or did hold a record, for most consecutive wins. Hands down, an incredible athlete. Also, hands down, made one of the cringiest music videos I've ever seen in my life. Just first and foremost, there is something weird, like plastic surgery-ish about his face. I promise I'm not doing that to be mean. It actually is important because it adds to the creepy, weird factor. You see him doing multiple exercises. He injects random shots of him at events, winning events, which is kind of cringy on its own. And then there's this weird weirdly sexual thing at the end with him and some old lady that I don't get why it was in there. I mean, yeah, it's kind of cute, but it seems super out of place and it's still creepy as hell. The song is about as generic as you could possibly fucking get. Very forgettable. I remember the visuals of the video more than I remember anything about the song. Now, this is not nonstop good cringe, like digestible cringe back to back. There definitely are some slow spots. So for that, I'm going to have to put Carl Lewis in the B tier. I definitely did get some laughs out of it, but could have been better, or could have been cringier, however you want to look at it. Another absolute classic, Holy Diver by our boy Dio. This set the gold standard for cringe. Whether it's the poor costuming, the poor acting, the awkward way he jaunts from place to place, the way he waves that sword around in that dungeon thing, which is hilarious, or this guy who I have no idea who the hell he is, why his helmet looks so awful, and why when Dio poorly slashes him, he slowly crumbles while still looking straight at Dio the entire time. It's seriously a thing of beauty to behold. The fact that Holy Diver is an awesome song helps this out a lot. I'm not gonna lie. It was like so perfectly complements this music video. He definitely missed the mark for what he was going for, but he definitely struck gold regardless. I love the song and the music video for Holy Diver so much. We actually made a music video and a parody song of it called Dumpster Diver, if you're not familiar.
As a diver finds his meal, say, dumpster diver, use a 2x4 like a ninja blade to save the whole human race. Needs apple cider.
Was our video cringe? Yes, but definitely intentionally, partly because you're on a limited budget. There's only so much awesome stuff you can actually do. And we wanted it to feel in the same cringy light that the original was, you know? There's something absolutely beautiful and magical about that. We wanted to try and capture that and some of the funniness. There are multiple times where I laugh out loud, but, you know, like this music video, there's certain slow spots where you're just kind of like, like I'm not entertained one way or the other. And similarly to the song has this obnoxious, like 1 minute long intro of just random spacey synth that frankly doesn't need to be there. And the video complements that very well with a bunch of random establishing shots, really zoomed in shots of high up tree branches that no one gives a shit about. As in the music video, as in the song. Stop boring me, get to the action, please. So because of that, he gets demoted to A tier, not quite S tier, but still a favorite of mine. A modern music video that I'm sure will be familiar to most of you, LMFAO's I'm Sexy and I Know It. Now, if it wasn't enough that this song is so overplayed and so annoying and such an earworm that, like, I already hate it, the music video is so annoying and so disturbing, I don't ever want to see it ever again. I understand while watching the music video, it's supposed to be a parody or satire of these guys, especially in LA City proper, who think that their shit doesn't smell and they're like the best person to have ever existed, God's gift to women, God's gift to the planet. But listening to the song by itself can too easily be taken literally and seriously. And by how offensive the imagery is in this video on multiple levels, this is going in E tier. E for eat shit. Let's knock out another modern one here. One you probably haven't seen before, but you'll know the artist. This one is called Can't Be Tamed by Miley Cyrus. It has your standard level of cringe for a modern music video, but then sprinkles in a little bit extra for multiple reasons. She's trying to play the part of some weird animal that has a really stupid name that apparently she is supposed to be some powerful, wild, mythical beast, yet she chose to make this a bird influenced type of animal as opposed to, I don't know, a tiger, a wolf, literally anything more ferocious than a fucking bird. What a stupid pick. So the bird thing has like disturbing cringe a little bit as well. All of her dancers in their little troupe there also have bird inspired clothing, which looks like shit. And the dances themselves make me feel like taking a shower. So this, my friends, will be going into E tier. Bad Touch by Bloodhound Gang. You may be asking yourself, but Mike, that music video is not cringe. really? The outfits that they're wearing are super cringe. The fact that they think that just dancing around in monkey suits like a bunch of fucking idiots is cringe. I'm not a huge fan of the topic, but I understand that they're trying to do it in a playful manner. But shooting a bunch of girls with poison darts or like knockout darts so you can take them away and have your way with them, mega cringe. It is a kind of fun and catchy song, though I think this is one of Bloodhound Gang's more overrated songs personally. So this for me falls right in the middle. It's definitely not unwatchable. If it came on, I wouldn't be upset. There's definitely some weird moments I'm not okay with. Next up is Sex on the Phone by the Village People. Yes, the same people who brought you the YMCA now have this super cringe-inducing song and an even more cringe-inducing music video. Very awkward choreography, beautifully paired with this very on-the-nose to the point of like partial upset stomach lyrical content that really is its own defining moment of the 80s. If any of you are fans of Gang Grumps at all, there was a moment, I forget which playthrough, He kept referencing a song or a music video where the guy said, "I want to talk to a very hot." This is the exact video he was referencing. I didn't even find that out until afterwards.
What you're about to say? I just want to speak to a very hot one.
It's not a whole lot to say here. I'm not really offended by it so much as I'm just embarrassed that they did that to themselves. And there's not very many fun parts, although there are some, but it's also not painful to the point where you're like, oh God, I have to stop. So again, this will be C tier. One metal fans will most likely be familiar with, but everyone else will have no clue. Bewitched by Candlemass. The music video, just like the music itself, is very belabored and overbloated. They take a lot more time to try and get points across, which feels like wasting my time and your time as well. So that brings it down a little lower in the rankings, but some of the moments that happen in this music video are pure magic. When the lead singer first bursts out of the coffin, this whole thing with him just acting really fucking strange to this really pretty girl. That whole scene is just a what the hell are you doing? At the very end when everyone's walking around like a fucking idiot. So for that reason, I will put you in B tier. There's a lot of filler in there, a lot of crap you have to kind of dig through. And whoever the hell this guy is, he looks like a lady from behind with legs so skinny and pants so tight. This next one you may or may not be familiar with. If you're a fan of H3H3, high chance you know who this is. The same person who made Rebecca Black viral, Patrice Wilson, also has a solo career. One of those songs is called Beautiful. I'll say from a technical perspective, it's pretty well shot and edited and lit and everything, but the actual concept of the video is disturbing. The actual idea of the song that he's trying to get across, the fact that the lady is pregnant and she's upset about it and she looks out of proportion and she feels weird and he's trying to make her feel good and feel beautiful, I think is wonderful. The absolute demented way he went about expressing that, which, I mean, I tried to find footage of this music video. I can't find it. Closest thing I could find was a Reddit thread, and when I clicked on the link to the video, not available. If you want to find out more about it, check out the H3H3 video. I highly recommend it. Very fun, very funny. Also extremely difficult to watch this video, so E tier. This one shocked the hell out of me. This is a song by Sting. It's actually a country song called I'm So Happy I Can't Stop Crying. I had actually heard this before, did not know this was Sting. And what the hell is this music video? First of all, what is that pile of dung on your head that you're calling a haircut? Some weird glassy shit going on with these animals in this video. The world's lamest and most lackadaisical line dance I've ever seen. And just multiple moments of what the hell. This has a handful of slow moments here and there, but there's so much gold in this. I would put it at A tier. And for being a country-inspired song, I actually think it's pretty nice. I'm not sure if y'all will know this song or not. I didn't. It's by the band Duck Sauce, or the group Duck Sauce, artist Duck Sauce, I don't frickin' know. And it is called The Big Bad Wolf, referring to his genitalia. If you can tell just by looking at this picture, it is someone's head in the place of where someone's phallus should be. That music video is age restricted, so because of that, I am not going to be showing any of the imagery of that video. Needless to say, this is just a small taste of the absolute bizarre cringe that is in that video. Now, I get what they're trying to go for. It's like a similar idea music video wise of Turn Down for What, if you've ever seen that music video. And I appreciate some of the charm that I think they're trying to go for, but the whole concept and just having to watch it is seriously painful, and I hate it. Not to mention, the song is literally stupid. Like the dumbest fucking thing. This is our first F tier, ladies and gentlemen. First F tier. All right, y'all, time for a classic. Dancing in the Streets, as done by David Bowie and what the hell, Mick Jagger. Yeah, wow, I can't believe I forgot his name. I have been told by multiple sources, both that I know and people I don't know, that this music video is too gay for gay people. Some of the most obnoxious ham-fisted dancing you've ever seen, to the point where you burst out laughing. The awkwardness of these two guys, especially knowing that they're super famous, in these abandoned parts of what looks like dangerous parts of town, just dancing around like a bunch of idiots. There's certain vocal parts in the song that also come across as weird, but something about the semi-fun nature of the song actually aids in having fun with this video. And if you haven't seen it, you need to see the silent cut of this video. Someone basically removes all the music and does some like overdubbing, like you would do sound effect overdubbing for a movie. It is glorious. And this is our first S tier, ladies and gentlemen. Next up is one that I had no idea existed in any form, Kiss the Frog by Peter Gabriel. I think I understand what psychedelic trippy thing he was trying to go for, but technology at the time was not nearly good enough for him to pull this off, even at a Peter Gabriel budget. This may seem like an oxymoron, but the song itself is annoyingly forgettable, and it winds up looking like a giant mess of just bullshit. Like, honestly, it's hard to understand what they were trying to go for. It was so poorly executed on so many levels. It's just, I'd never need to watch this again, honestly. That is F tier. And yes, mega cringe. If this video isn't a classic yet, it will be. The darkness. The darkness. I believe in a thing called love. I had a bunch of people tell me that they thought this was super cringe, and I was actually kind of surprised, because to me, it's not nearly as cringy as pretty much every other video on this list. And I think it's very clear that these guys are self-aware, and it's supposed to be a pastiche and somewhat of a satire on videos from that period which they're trying to emulate, like late 70s, early 80s. There are multiple awkward moments, but I think that they sell them well enough that I don't feel like, I can't watch this. And I feel more like, oh, this is heartwarming. This is adorable. You can tell that they love that really cheesy old music video style, and they were trying to recreate it themselves. I mean, you know, one of the things I would have said was like, oh yeah, the Wall of Marshalls is super cringe, but then you see this just massive, obnoxiously large, unnecessarily large Wall of Marshalls, which is them being like, yes, we know it's cringe. We are overplaying it. So the fact that I don't think it's as cringe as any of the other videos on this list, that's going to bring it down a little bit, but I think it's very watchable. I enjoy it. So I'm going to put that in B tier. Next up is an enigma that I have no idea how many people have actually heard of. I had never heard of this. I'd never seen the video. And I am super happy that I have been exposed to this now. Dog Police by the Dog Police. I guess the best way I could describe it is kind of like Mr. Bungle meets Zappa. And the music video is so disturbing because of these freaking dog costumes. It's really, really weird. Even though I appreciate the level of intentional weirdness, my first instinct was to drop this to F tier because I was like, I can't watch this again. And then just earlier today, I watched it like 3 or 4 times. Just the chorus itself, the freaking chorus is so catchy. Dog police, where are you coming from? Dog police. Nobody knows who you are. Like, it's so weird. And the end of that chorus, nobody knows who you are. That is a complete ripoff of the original ending song for Return of the Jedi. Nobody knows who you are. So we went from an F, and now I think, honestly, I might have to put this in S tier. It is just such beautifully executed intentional cringe. And it being in the 80s and having those natural limitations of the technology in the 80s, I think takes it up even higher. And this whole thing is such a freaking mystery to me. I have no idea who these guys are, where they got the budget to do this when I had no clue who these guys are at all. It's just a total mind boggle to me that I am supremely interested in. If y'all have any info on the Dog Police, please let me know in the comments. Next up, this one was highly requested, though I will say a slight disappointment to me. This is Time Stands Still by Rush. Is it goofy and out of touch? Definitely. Is it a bad music video? Absolutely. But is it mega cringe? Not really. I'd say it's on par for the cringe of the period. Like when it first starts up, you know it's green screen and you know that they're trying to fool you into thinking that it isn't, but it so clearly is. And then each of the members of Rush start randomly bouncing around the screen, or they have this fetish with Geddy Lee going in circles around whatever the hell he's going circles around. The song's I don't hate it. I don't love it. And I think part of the reason why people put this as so cringy is the fact that it is Rush and they're like such accomplished musicians. The watchability for me is really hit or miss because the first couple of minutes, there are certain moments where you are laughing quite a bit, but then there's a lot of other parts where it just drags. It's just the same thing. It's not even interesting on a cringe level. For that reason, I'm going to put it in C tier. Nothing offensive about it, thankfully. Everyone's douchebag that they love to hate, Jake Paul, Everyday Bro.
It's everyday, bro, with the Disney Channel flow.
Next up is Blue by Eiffel 65. Was a huge banger back in the 90s. I remember growing up and loving this song. I actually had an Eiffel 65 CD. That's where I was at. And I remember watching the original music video. There were certain parts of it where I was even cringing as a fucking 8-year-old. At the time, I thought like the hand shooting weapon things that they were doing were kind of cool. But in retrospect, I'm like, these guys were very out of touch. Legit, some of the worst graphics I have ever seen in a music video. The members of the band are going around and assaulting these blue guys with weapons, but then they're also putting on a concert for another group of the same blue guys without weapons. Makes no sense. Definitely mega cringe. I'm not sure. I'm in between A and B tier because there's some things in it that are just really funny. Okay, yeah. It's B tier. It's definitely B tier. Even though it's a really fun song, super catchy, and there are some things to behold and go like, what the hell? It's still really not that fun to watch, especially in comparison to some of these other videos. Next up is Hinoi Team, Night of Fire. First of all, the beat of this song is incredibly dope. I love the beat of this song, and after a while, I was starting to unironically love it. There's something delightfully fun about the song and the fact that it's so low budget and easy to deal with. And this guy, if you look like this guy and you're dressing up in this outfit and you're doing a forum dance along with a bunch of girls, which you're already in a girl ensemble J-pop group, I think there has to be some level of self-awareness there. So not mega cringe, but also enjoyable. But because the cringe level for me is much lower than almost every other video on this list, this for me is C tier, even though I enjoy it and I will go back and watch it. But it's not for the cringe, if that makes any sense. Is there cringe? Yes. Is it a lot? No. This one, I think I've only heard this song a handful of times. Had no idea it had a music video, but this is Billy Squier, Rock Me Tonight. It is said that this music video single-handedly killed his career. Awkward is not an accurate enough word to describe his dance routines in quotes in this music video. Holy shit. It's like that 80s or early 90s teen dancing alone in her bedroom. That's what this music video is, but he's a guy and he also is a public figure broadcasting this on television. The guys who made this music video took a heaping shovelful of what the hell were you thinking? But I will say it is absolutely magical back to front. Even though there's a handful of slower spots here and there, I think there is enough to edge this up to S tier. This is legitimately one of the funniest music videos I have ever seen. I laughed out loud so many times, very hard while watching this music video, and I will watch it again and laugh just as loud. And finally, the crowning jewel, Separate Ways by Journey. Easily my favorite Journey song. I love the shit out of this song. Arguably the greatest music video of the decade, maybe of all time, who knows. I love this music video so much, I made a shot-for-shot recreation of it with just me and my cell phone, which is also equally as cringy. If you want to lose your shit at how ridiculous this is, like, definitely watch that video too. Between the fake instrument playing, like, in the air and stuff, the weird dances, the awkward stares and head bobbing, the weird choreographed everything in this video. This is the definition of an S tier video. It's just, So there is my music video cringe tier list. What did you think of my tier list? What videos did I miss? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, if you like what I do on this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That would be awesome. Hit the like button, leave a comment. Support me on Subscribe Star. Subscribe Star is the only way I can keep making badass videos for you. And you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Become the Night. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next video. Rock on!